I wonder why so many women act so defensive when a man asks them about their body count. I mean, it is okay for women to ask a man questions like, how much money do you make? Where do you work? What kind of car do you drive? Do you have any kids? But when men ask a question about a woman's body count, all hell breaks loose. They make videos about it, when at the same time, I really don't hear men complaining about the questions that a woman asks them. Do you believe it's an important question to ask a woman about her body count? I personally believe it is a very important question. You may not want to ask this question within the first couple of dates that you guys have, but it's an important topic that you guys most definitely need to get into. Why do I think that a high body count is bad for a woman? Because whether if they like it or not, a woman with a high body count will be used up emotionally, physically, spiritually, and mentally. But of course, modern Western women don't think like that, and they will find every and any excuse for their high body count and what makes them feel comfortable about it.
The joke will always be on men when it comes to the conversation about body count. They make such a big deal about it. It's such a requirement that your body count is low and you're not ran through and blah, blah, blah. But the reason why the joke is always going to be on y'all is because you are never going to know a woman's real answer. You're never going to know.
Huh. And we talk about it all the time. Two things is true. Like I said, we've told men don't even ask. It really ain't something you can ask. You gotta just, know how these women are moving. You can tell. Like we tell y'all about the chest tattoos and how they hanging out. When they hanging in the club every night, you can start to pick up on it. At the very same time, what you looking like that for, HQ? At the very same time, this woman here says y'all will never know. That's why men say all y'all are 304s and for the streets, because nobody tells the truth.
Thank you. That's the part where I got triggered. So like the guys are the fools because all those women are liars. That's all I heard. You guys are fools because we all liars. Ask us what you want. We ain't gonna tell you no truth.
Yeah, that's if you look on the negative side of things. That's not the negative side of things. No, what she said was the truth.
Tell me what she meant. We heard what she said.
I don't care what she meant. What she meant. She meant nobody is going to tell you their body count. Nobody. So why nobody's going to tell you the truth? Nobody really.
And that's a red flag. That's a red flag. A woman who's moving
but you
correct.
Wouldn't know whether it's a red flag or not.
She should be proud. She should be like, I hunched one guy in high school.
Works.
I lost my V card and I messed with a guy in college. That's it. I got three
that's
bodies.
Not how the world
but
works.
They can't.
Nobody wants to talk about their sexual history.
Woman will proudly say she got 2 or 3 bodies. She wouldn't even flip like 2 or 3. But when it's 10, 20, 30, 40, now you can't know. See what I'm saying?
I wouldn't. If a man asked me that, I wouldn't even dignify him with an answer. He'd be instantly disqualified.
Well, after a certain age, first of all, HQ, have you done aged out of the body count question?
Exactly.
You gotta this is for women like 20, between 30 and younger. Men are only concerned with body count with women that are under the age of 30. After that, they don't care because they ain't taking you serious. So if you under the age of 30, more than this is like not all. I want all police to come in, but the majority. Once you 40, 50, you ain't no 40-year-old woman, man. Like, I wonder where her body count is. You can see it all in her face. So they ain't asking.
No, I'm just saying, I'm making sure HQ understands that body count is different from men and women. That's all. Do you understand that, Miss HQ?
Body count matters. Body count don't matter unless you got disease. That's the way I look at it.
That's incorrect. That's incorrect.
So you mean to tell me you got, let's say your body count is 100, mine is 100. So you had 100 men on top of you, pumping, dumping in you, conquering you, ankles on your shoulder, going crazy. So you mean to tell me that's the same thing as me?
Thank you.
And I need an answer.
Wait a minute. You see, you talking to heathen queen.
No.
Hence the name.
Getting plowed.
Okay, wait a minute, hold on. Look at the name. What does HQ stand for? HQ stands for heathen queen. So therefore, that particular thing don't concern me. I said I said it don't matter to me as long as you don't have any diseases. Now,
Okay,
take it the way you will, take it the way you want to take it.
Okay, let's go there. I'm sorry, fellas. I'm gonna shut this down real quick. So you catch your daughter in a room with 5 guys lining up behind her. It don't matter. But you catch your son with 5 girls in the room. So you saying that's the same thing?
Yes.
Get the fuck. Y'all talk to her, Mr. Walker, Gavin.
It's not the same thing. Come on, heathen queen.
Thank you.
No,
You heard her.
Water.
I would not want to see either one of those scenarios.
No, I wouldn't either. But I would feel different if it was my boy.
Yeah, but we're talking about a kid. We're talking about somebody else.
Let her talk. Let her talk. Let her talk.
You talking about somebody else. I'm talking about.
Let her talk. Let her talk.
Yeah. See, the girls, I can't see that. 5 guys in the room with my daughter, heathen queen. That you would be completely crushed if you saw a train about to happen on your.
Yeah, there you go.
But if it was your son with 5 girls in the room, you would be like, "Ooh, like my son is."
How did he do that?
You know.
Yeah, thank you.
I know. To you, that would be different. To me, it would be the same thing. I would be outraged on both. I'd be outraged on both ends. To me,
I would be outraged too.
She's done.
But I would still feel better.
Shout out to Project Leroy. Come through. He on HQ's top. Says HQ is what men do when you don't admit your body count. It's 2024 and women wonder why men don't offer marriage anymore. Ankle grabbing for free is what you tell the men. Time out. And thank you, bro. That's what I always say. That's why body count matters, because we know what goes on behind closed doors, and it ain't just STDs, also the ability to pair bond. Like, seriously, some folks out here really want real deep love in their relationships. And if some dude are competing with 25, I'm being liberal, 50, 100 weenies of the past, all those experiences, it ain't worth the trouble and the trauma. It really just not.
Wrong. Jokes will be on those women who think it is absolutely okay to be completely ran through, used up and washed up, and then be at the age of 35 looking for a real man who's going to come and rescue them from their escapades. But here's the thing about it, ladies. You don't have to be a pro in bed. A man will be able to tell whether if you are ran through or not, depending on the performance that you have in bed. Besides, it feels a certain way down there too, if you know what I mean. And another thing is, dear ladies, you don't have to impress a man by your performance in bed. There are so many more effective ways. Let's talk about your femininity. I talk about it in a lot of my videos. Sexuality is not everything a woman needs to bring to the table, because you want to be different than everyone else, right? That's why you should rather focus on being kind, soft-spoken, have a smile on your face, and just carry yourself with grace and class. A lot of women think that their sexuality is the only thing they need to bring to the table, and that's the only thing they try to control a man with.
We're going to know. And the funniest thing about that is men are so oblivious to women and the ways of women that they really think they can look at a woman and tell if her body count is high or if it's low. A lot of men will marry a woman thinking she's good, not understanding how much she used to, what they say, bust it wide open and lay it wide back in her day. But because she carries herself as a classy woman and has been for the last 10, 15, 20 years, you think she's a good girl. I can assure you that the women who you think are good girls aren't. And they never were.
God, she is so wrong again. Guys, I really need to open up a femininity school and teach these ladies. Even though I believe that some of them may be too old to understand, I still would love to try. Let me tell you why she's wrong again. Obviously, these women don't understand that men can sense whether if a woman is ran through or not, because a woman who has a high body count will always have a certain energy. When we're talking about feminine energy, there's a counterpart to it, which is a 304 type energy. And she keeps saying that men will never know the real answer. And a lot of women are applauding that statement. And I am actually not even surprised, because most of the time these chicks don't even know who their baby daddy is. So I am sure that they don't even know their own body count, which is the reason they don't like talking about it. They don't want to be asked about it. And they would just probably like to continue their trend. Honestly, a woman with a high body count also will show in her poor relationship results that she obviously has a problem with pair bonding, which is most likely an outcome of dealing with too many sexual partners back to back, sometimes even at the same time. That is why it is so important, especially in today's modern society, that we bring back a tiny portion of shame to these women.
That part. Because at the very same time, when they sleeping with these men back to back like that, that's why we sit up here and say 35 to 40% of the men on the birth certificates are not the father, right? They don't even know. Like, they think that's their child. And their mama be like, I don't look like you. He be like, it got my chin. No, it don't.
No, it's and here, fellas, this is another way I'm gonna make my point. It is absolute best for the woman and the man, for the man to get a woman that's more into him. Because you stop these things. You want your woman into you. That's gonna keep her in place. Stay on your square as a man. Make sure your woman's into you, because otherwise you run a risk of living out these nightmares that so many men is popping up on social media, and more are living, finding out 1 to 50 years later that kid or kids ain't theirs. That's the worst feeling for, man. I'm tired of seeing it. It tug at the heartstrings. Seeing dudes up there and he like, yeah, this is my daughter. I love her, take care of her. They're like, you are not the father, man. And the dude be over there broken. He'd be sitting there, got that one little Denzel tear, and everybody over here consoling this 304 of a woman. And it's just sick. I said way too much. I'm starting to get jaded.
They do all run for her when she goes running behind the studio to hide from the shame.
Yep.
Like, they all console her. And I'm always wondering, like, why don't they go talk to the guy that's been taking care of this kid for 6 years? Like,
And I'll
it ain't
say
even.
this. I wanted to ask HQ, because the sister was hitting on, when these women got high body counts, they carry it with them on their sleeve. You can almost see it from how they carry. Like, you can't be, a lot of times a woman will be a lawyer or a doctor. Shout out to Brother Fred. When he said he going through them DMs, and y'all say, how can 7,000 women, some of them women are lawyers and doctors. Those are good women. But if they twerking and hang around women that's doing this type of stuff, how can they possibly be?
Well,
say,
the whole
ahead.
point is, she said you can tell a 304 a mile away. No, you can't. The only way you can tell a 304 is through her behavior. If she's behaving the way she normally would behave as an upstanding, pious, very tight knit woman, you wouldn't know whether she was 304 or not. That's what she's trying to say. Okay,
I can expose the hyena at 304 and a woman in about 2-3 minutes.
Wait a minute, but all women don't. A woman could have been in 304 5 years ago.
It don't matter. It don't matter.
I'm saying you don't know a 304 when you see.
Well, here's the deal. I'll say this. Here's the second. I'll get you in here, Raquel. Here's the second part of the equation. Two things could be true, HQ. That's why we tell women to relocate. You can move across the country and tell a man beautiful lies. The problem is 70% of us never move out of our own communities. So we don't have to ask these women anything. I know all these men you slept with. We went to school together. You know these women. She done slept with your cousin, your friends. You know her baby daddies. You know these women body count because they never leave the community. You know all these men they slept with.
So the women who do leave the neighborhood, you can't tell. How would you be able to tell? If I was a 304 in Atlanta and then I moved to Alaska, or I moved to Washington D.C., you wouldn't know anything about me. So you really can't tell.
You can put on the phone, you can try.
But it shows in the fact that you can't keep a relationship, that your relationships fail, that they don't go past 2 years or go past 3 years, or, so even though
I don't know whether that's true. I
still,
don't know any data on that. I mean, I've never heard any data on that. I mean, just because you was a 304 in your 20s doesn't mean that you will be a 304 when you hit 30. You could be totally changed. People change all the time. They change from doing this. They learn. They autocorrect. Men are hoes, and they spending all their money when they 20, but when they hit 30, they become very upstanding men. So you cannot say a woman who was a 304 at 20, she learned to autocorrect herself. She learned how to keep her stuff in her pants.
I'll
And
say
30
this.
years old, she might be a very decent,
say this.
upstanding woman.
I'll
So
say this: these guys who you speak of are the suckers and the simps. They do exist. We're not up here speaking in absolutes. Granted, some of these women will find a man to get married. I see them on Facebook all the time. I just see one today, and I said, "Man, look at this brother hugging on this woman. She's a complete 304. She belongs to the streets. He don't know her. He didn't grow up around us. We all know this woman belongs to the streets. I'm looking at this man on this Facebook. I felt bad for this brother because he don't know no better.
So how do you know he don't know no better?
Because if he would, he would.
No.
so Heathen Queen, yes, I do believe men deal with whores all the time, but they're not lining up to marry them.
We're not talking about marriage. We're talking about being in a relationship. Men get in a relationship with whores all the time.
So
no, in this case, we are talking about marriage. We're talking about marriage right now.
Married. We're not talking about marriage. We're
No,
talking
in my
about being
scenario,
involved.
what I just talked about, I'm looking at this man proposing to this woman. And when I see these men,
you really believe that man don't know her past?
No, because she moved across the country.
And how could he when the woman just said they don't tell?
Wait a minute, hold on. You guys are making the argument that you could tell 304. Why can't that man tell she's a 304?
We can speak anecdotally. I can't speak for all men.
I'm saying you can't tell that she's the 304.
No, not
you
all
were
men.
making the argument that you
men.
could.
Not all men.
We can. Some men can.
We extraordinary Negroes.
I'm saying you don't know unless I tell you. You don't know unless I act like that. You don't know.
It's gonna come out. You shout the Q. And Rose, you can only hide from yourself for so long. If a man sits there and just converse
what if I was a 304 when I was 20 and I changed my whole way? That means at 30 I'm not like that anymore.
There will be remnants. There will be remnants and crumbs. See, maybe to a nug you may be right, or not to a nug. Maybe to, like he said, a beta brother that wants to believe your lies. But there's men out here. We don't want to believe your lies. We're gonna pick them apart.
No.
And HQ, what you don't know don't hurt you. We could just use that old adage. Like if you move across the country and you never take this man back to your hometown, don't take him to your high school reunion. Don't do that. All right, keep him where y'all at. Don't ever take him home and tell him sweet lies.
And how many of y'all gonna turn around and see that hoe pull up with her good man? And how many of y'all gonna go up to that good man and say, "Hey man, you just coming to this new town, but she was the town whore." How many of y'all gonna do that?
They ain't gonna do that. Listen, she gonna.
Ain't none of y'all gonna do that.
Listen,
so he ain't never gonna find out.
Let me tell you, these men won't even acknowledge him. The men that used to sleep with her, they will walk right up to her while he's standing there, give her a hug. What you doing? How long you in town?
And won't tell him nothing.
All that.
And won't tell him nothing. So
no, what I'm saying is they will cross that line right in front of that man. He gonna be sitting there. He don't even know like this. She used to be giving Hawk Tui in the parking lot.
So therefore he'll never know. So therefore
you ain't listening. Gavin's saying they out there at the family reunion. At the class reunion. Ain't nobody gonna go to this dude and say nothing to him. Right. They gonna be sitting down. His girl gonna get up like, "Hey, that's my friend," and they gonna be crossing the line. They gonna be hugging her. "How you doing? How long you in town?" He gonna be watching. This is how he knows she a 304 because she is not upholding no honor in front of him.
Y'all stretching. Y'all stretching.
Yeah.
Y'all stretching.
Listen, this is probably somebody in the chat right now. It happens. Listen,
Heathen Queen, I don't know, like when you were growing up, did you ever have like the neighborhood hoe that was like giving it up from like the time her mama went to work? All the boys from the neighborhood were going down to Kim's house. I won't say the neighborhood, but y'all know who I'm talking about.
Oh no,
Come
I
on.
know.
Like there's some girls that were like the neighborhood stop sign.
Right.
And that's, I guess, like maybe that's who Mr. Gavin is talking about. That the young lady who was the neighborhood slore is now married, and everyone from their particular part of town knows what she used to do in the neighborhood.
Right.
Yeah, nobody's gonna go up to that man and tell him, you know.
But so why wouldn't you know he wouldn't know? I mean, I don't understand what
Well, because
he
when
knows,
Hold on.
and yet he's
But
still
listen,
married this woman.
HQ, you contradicted. How wouldn't they know? Because what you said, women will never tell you their body counts. So he would never know, according to what you said.
But usually men in Atlanta are very suspicious when you come down here and you say, you know, I'm from Chicago or I'm coming down here from Ohio or New York. Men usually know that you're full of shit. Like you're down here because you're running from your past. You're running from something you did so bad from wherever you're from. You can't live it down. So you come to the South and try to clean up your act. But you're really not fooling anyone.
Right.
There you go.
Well, I can't say that. So, I mean,
listen, can you not grasp that concept, Heathen Queen? That some men got 3 or 4 vision.
What you got, brother?
I'm just addressing the fact that if I go somewhere else and I'm a hoe in Georgia, but I go to Washington, there's no way for you to know whether I'm a whore or not. That's all I'm saying. So don't say a man can tell. He can tell that she's experienced, but that don't mean she. And being experienced is not the same as being a hoe. Okay, just because you know she's experienced doesn't mean that she's a hoe.
Okay, let's get Brother Fred in. What you got?
That's all.
Yeah, based off of my data, right, of being experienced, it does come out because I've seen about 3 girls that I've messed with in my past who moved out of town and got married, and it only lasted about a year. That's all I'm saying. And these are girls that the football team ran train on them. Me and my boys them partied them, and I'm like, damn, this guy kissing her in the mouth. A year later, they not together. That's all I'm saying. It does come full circle. That's all from my experience and my data. It comes full circle.
Always just let them talk. Like you said, she had some wild sexual escapades. So that brother, all he got to do, just pay attention. They in the bedroom and just listen. And then she in there like, yeah, can you do it the way Johnny, Mike, and Jimmy used to do it? Like, whoa, what you mean? Just listen. It'll come out.
So here we go. We're going to let her keep cooking. Hit the like button.
Women cannot run around all loose and with a loose vagina like that. It's not a good look. They're never going to come out of the situation as winners. They're always going to be losers in these situations. It seems like everyone gets it except for women. There's another thing that I want to say about a woman with a high body count, whether if they like it or not. Dealing with too many men at the same time at a young age, alcohol, partying, doing drugs will kill a woman's spirit.
And the women who you think are the most promiscuous because she wears booty shorts or she's always twerking or whatever, those be the women a lot of times that men cannot get ever. Like I literally can use myself as an example. I will hop on a plane, go to Miami, put on some fishnet stockings, some booty shorts, and just be twerking all up and down the Miami Strip. And when men see me, they think, oh, she's probably easy. Look at how she's acting. 0 men get my phone. 0 men even get my attention. Most of the time I tell them I'm gay or I'm married or I'm terrified of men. Whatever I feel like saying in that moment, depending on the guys, you'll never get me. Imagine thinking I'm a whore, but you can't even get this whore. This whore won't even give you eye contact, right?
Holy hell.
Stop lying.
Why you lying, ho?
Stop lying.
I know the time, ho.
Stop lying.
4G's where we slide.
Stop.
So, this is what we talk about. She's saying I could stand right next to the 304s. That don't make me a 304. I can twerk up and down Miami. Ain't nobody getting my number. Nobody getting this coup de cata. You know, here we are, Mr.
Here we go. So, God dang it. Again, another example of modern women shooting themselves right in the foot. Let's say that's true, sister. Let's say you don't be giving it out, but you present yourself that way. When and or if the day comes, you find yourself wanting a suitable mate. Now, this is all out there. I don't care if you are talking about you don't give it away. You out here twerking up and down the Sunset Strip. That's wicked work. Why you just walking down the street twerking? And for what? What's the desired outcome? I'm gonna walk up and down just like a 304, going the whole stroll just to prove a point. Stop the cap. There's always a maintenance man. These women ain't ish. I'm so triggered.
And I'll say this: a lot of cases we don't touch on this. A lot of these women be, recovering 304s. So they've been 304s most of their lives, like HQ was hitting on. In the last 5 years of their life, they've been sort of on the straight and narrow. They only slept with a few guys. They ain't getting trains ran on them no more. And
Sure.
they feel like they can expunge their body counts. But it don't work like that. So you get a woman like her will say, I twerk up and down Miami and ain't nobody, but she might have 100 bodies and she say, I don't do that no more.
There you go. They follow you. Just like y'all seen the movie Insidious. Take a picture of them. You see something hanging on their back. That's the weenies of the past. Well, Quisha, don't take my picture.
So what you got, Brother Fred?
No, I agree with y'all. It's crazy. A woman's past it is what it is. That's why they don't never tell you the truth. And if
Because
anybody
that would hit on, like you said, the women on Kendra. She would say, I'm one of them 7,000 women that was twerking, but really you can't even get this Kudakata.
Really, that means when she's twerking all up and down South Beach and North Beach, she's marketing herself to the man that she wants. Like, what she's not telling you is that it's only to the 80% of men trying to holler at her that she's putting down. The other men are definitely getting her number. Like, why would you be in Miami twerking with fishnets on if you're not looking for phone numbers or men to hook up with? Like, that heathen queen, that's the part that men are saying, like, once they're like, she's beautiful on screen talking, she looks very pretty, but the words that she's saying and then the bravado that she's trying to push out across the screen, they don't match, because a woman who's not a hoe doesn't go to South Beach to put on fishnets. Like, it's just, it doesn't match. That you not being a hoe doesn't match the fishnets and the behaviors going down to Miami to say all of that. Like, what are you doing that for if it's not for male attention, if it's not for hookup culture?
She going down there looking for the hoochie daddies. And like you said,
and she'll hooch for the ones that she deems
bingo
most suitable.
Bingo.
So yeah, for the 80%, yeah, I'm the same way, but for the man that you would want to be your husband, you're going to say yes to that man. And how many of those men have you said yes to that ended up not becoming your husband? And that comes across in your behavior, because you never shake it off. You never stop the cock cycle. Like,
the cock cycle.
Yeah. I meant to say carousel. I'm sorry, but I had a drink tonight.
It is what it is. It's true. I would love to hear her answer to that.
I can't disagree. I can't disagree on that. I can't disagree on any of that. I can only say it's a trick. Everybody believes that same one little thing, but that's not how life works. Life just don't work like that. Otherwise, you would not have all these people out here married and getting married and being in relationships if body count was, if people cared about body count like that. People don't care about body count like that. As long as you don't say anything about the body count, nobody cares what your body count is, because nobody's asking about that.
Let me say this: real men, the men they want, care. The men that they don't want don't care.
Wait a minute, let me rephrase. You care, but you don't ask about it. You don't come blunt out and say, how many bodies do you got? So therefore, you don't ask. If you don't ask, you don't care.
No,
Because
you
can't
gotta
understand.
ask.
Stop telling me you care, and
Let
you
me
ain't
tell you
got the
this.
balls enough to ask.
And
If
let
you
me tell
ain't
you
got
this.
the balls enough to ask, you don't care.
Some of these men truly don't care. There's men out here
There's
that
a lot of
will.
men that don't care. A lot.
Well,
You
yeah,
keep
as far as
saying they
numbers go,
do,
not
but
as
they
far as
don't.
percentages go, but as far as numbers, there's a lot of men. But
There's a
listen,
lot.
here's what I'm saying. The men you speak of are the same men. We see these men. They will marry women. Some of these, you gotta say, some of these men will marry women and be hanging out with their wife's baby daddy. Don't you understand? They don't care. I synced it. So this is a
Yeah,
dynamic.
you're making it seem as though these men who don't care, there's a flaw in them. There's not a flaw.
There's a flaw.
It's not a
There's
flaw.
no way. There's
Because
no way
most
I'm a.
men don't
First of all,
ask.
listen. First of all, there's no way I don't recommend you marrying a woman with children and then be hanging out with her baby daddy. Like what?
I'm not
Hey,
saying there's nothing wrong with
That's
that.
crazy as
Of
heck.
course, there's something wrong with that. That's weird as hell to me. I'm saying these men who say they care about body count don't really care about body count because you really don't ask about it. That would be one of the first prereq. That would be one of the first. Why would you care about body count but not care about what kind of family she came from? Why is body count more important
because
than
it
the
goes
fact
hand
that she
in
don't have
hand.
no baby
You
dad?
don't. You
That she
don't
don't
think
have
that
no
goes
daddy?
hand in hand, HQ? That don't go hand in hand.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying you saying men are more worried about a body count than they are worried about whether this woman
Well,
was raised with a
like I
daddy?
just said,
Don't
like,
men
you
have to
don't.
please us? So maybe the assumption
What do
is
you
that
mean
if
men
you,
have to please you? What are you
well,
saying?
I mean in the bed sexually. So if maybe if you're a woman that had many, many, many men, maybe they feel like there's something that they can't stand up to, that maybe you've had a man that can do more than them, or
And, and
like maybe
I'll say
they're
this:
looking at it from that point of view, like
Bingo.
the
they
end
can't
of it is.
you.
Listen, a
No.
woman with a low body count can indicate a lot of things. It indicates that you're responsible. You potentially came up in a good household. You make good decisions. All this stuff. It indicates a lot of things.
Even pandering Dr. Umar said the same thing. He said women don't need to be out here dating like that because of the experiences that you accrue with these different guys. Life is about experiences. So
All right,
especially
now
women
I'm
with
gonna
that
let
have
y'all
previous
drown.
nature. So if you sitting there, you like, I done been dealing with, these women say all the time, I only date affluent men. I'd be going out to the fancy steakhouses, getting hunched in a Ritz-Carlton. And that's the experience. Now they come across a wholesome Mr. 40 hours. He ain't got all that glitz and glam, but he is great for a lover, and they'll get married reluctantly, and we see how those marriages go. She constantly talking down to him, emasculating him, and it's only a matter of time before temptation sinks in and she end up stepping out. It just is what it is. The whole myth that women and wives don't cheat is done. The numbers are in. And what is it? They're as far as cheating, it's like half and half. But now women are trending towards they cheat more.
Let me say this, Miss HQ.
Q.
Women.
The men that you want, Miss HQ, care about body count. The regular managers at Walmart or McDonald's, they don't care because they don't have many options. So they don't care what you did. But those are the men you don't want. That's to conclude it.
I posit there's not that many men out there asking about body count. Period.
Most don't,
Very
because
rarely.
most men work at Walmart, McDonald's, Pet Boys. Most don't, but those are the men that you don't want. You get it? Those men you don't want. They're not gonna ask you about it.
But I
And I
posit
think
about
here's
95%
the thing.
y'all ain't asking
Well,
about body count.
listen, there's a difference between a man asking and a man being concerned about.
I'm not saying he's not concerned. That's not what I'm
Well,
saying.
no,
What
what
I'm
I'm
saying
saying
is,
listen, what we're saying is there's not many men asking. That's not really a conversation. But men are concerned. And they gonna move. They're not gonna marry you if they even get an inkling that you got a high body count. That's what we saying.
And one way a man will start to figure out she got a high body count, just talking. And anytime a person can't speak freely, outside of us here, we gotta watch our curse words. But if you're sitting there having a conversation, men speaking to women, trying to figure out how they've been moving, talk. Ask about family. You know, you can ask about, you know, hey, how was your last relationship? That's not cringe. But he the queen. A man can't sit here and say, "What's your body count?" It's over. That's just wicked. That's weird energy.
Even if he do, Mr. Walker, they've been sitting up here telling us all night that they're not going to tell the truth. That's why we say don't.
And then we come full circle, which is what I said. Body count don't matter because you
do matter.
Get the truth. Because you ain't gonna get the truth.
Okay, I like that. It don't matter because y'all won't. So there you go. That's modern woman's hoodoo, right? Get your notepads. Body count don't matter because we not gonna tell y'all the truth.
I'm dropping gems tonight. I'm dropping gems. 6 foot really don't mean 6 feet. It means just be taller than me. 6 figure don't mean 6 figure. It just mean make more money or the same as me. And body count don't matter because it just don't matter.
Is this camera on me?
Yes, it's on.
That's stupid. Use your common sense.
What did I say that was a lie? I didn't say nothing was a lie. Another question I have to ask. I have to ask this one little question. If women are divorcing men or leaving men,
we all be drunk.
If women are leaving men because they unhappy, are you all saying that a woman and a man should stay in a relationship regardless of whether they're unhappy or not? Is this what we're trying to say? Is that what we're promoting?
Prevent the unhappiness.
Do you get married to be happy? Is that what you get married for?
I think everybody gets married to be happy.
Incorrect.
That's not what you're.
No, that's not that. Yes, it is. That's exactly why people get married. People don't just get married to have children. You don't just get married to have children. That's what they did in the olden days. That's not how they do it today. Today, people get married because they want to be happy with another human being. They want to build a family. They want to build a relationship. That's why people get married. They do not get married because they have kids. They do not get married to
failing.
And so I agree with
Rose.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say that's why it's a failing institution.
Well, when do you think that's gonna change? When you think that's gonna change?
What's gonna change?
How are they going? How you gonna make them change back to marrying people just to have
It's not. You must not
my
watch your
point exactly. My point exactly. So why are men demonizing women who leave when they're unhappy?
Because just like the sister said,
to be unhappy.
Because men are problem solvers and leaders, and we see an issue, we gonna try to solve it.
So if I come to you and I'm married,
listen. This goes back to what I told Tyranny a few weeks ago. We are the men. Y'all done burnt the whole house. The whole entire house is on fire. The men are out here. We got one fire extinguisher, and we trying to put it out. Y'all telling us to put the fire extinguisher down. We ain't gonna never put it out, and we telling y'all we trying. So don't tell us to put it down. Y'all set the house on fire. We trying to put the fire out. Don't tell us what to do now.
So if I come to you and I say, hey, husband, I'm unhappy and I need to leave to be happy, how are you going to make me stay?
I don't know about that. You're going down rabbit holes now. So
I'm just following up on Mr. Walker. Mr. Walker said women, he said the survey said that women are cheating more because they leaving more. They leaving a relationship more. I'm saying, how do you make a woman stay if she's unhappy?
Hey, don't try.
Remove her internet access.
What?
Don't even try. No.
What?
Listen, no. This for the men. If your girlfriend, wife, fiance, I don't give a damn. If she comes to you talking about, I'm not happy, what you gonna do to keep me? Say not a daggone thing. Your mind's made up. That's the best thing you could do. If you want to keep it.
I was gonna say the reason I say remove her internet is more than likely the reason she's unhappy is because she's seeing other couples on Instagram and they taking trips and she's seeing everybody else's life, which is making her unhappy. Remove her internet access, live a regular life, she'll be happy.
So if you had everything that you needed, you wouldn't leave, right? Right? If you had everything you need to make you happy in a relationship,
it ain't about happy. That's the problem. Happiness is the problem.
But that's how it is.
No, that's how it is.
Happiness is fleeting. It goes up and down.
No, I'm not saying it's statically happy. I'm saying
sounds like a child. You got to keep a child happy all the time to keep them well behaved.
But that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm
Yeah,
saying.
no, that is what you're
Well,
saying.
no,
Because
I'm sorry. The word is content, not happy.
Yes, okay.
Content. If I'm content on every level in that relationship, that means I would stay, right? I should stay. If I'm content, I should stay in that relationship, right? And make it
I
work.
feel like it's 80-20. I feel like 80% of me is good if I'm content 80% of the time.
Right.
That 20% is like just regular bumps and ups and downs that me and my husband go through. And I just gotta go, get into the ebbs and flow of the up and down and the up and down, like but every day it's not roses and happy and lovingness and oh my God, I can't wait for you to get home, So I in that case, it's not like 100% content all the time, but more like an 80-20. I'm 80%. It's always good. I'm always content.
Right.
But
So
I
here
guess
we
for
go.
some people it needs to be 50 or 100, but that is just not realistic. And when you're blending lives and families and children together.
So here we go. Make sure y'all hitting the like button. I'm gonna let them land this plane.
The joke is always going to be on y'all, right? Women know how to twerk, dance, drink, be yelling, hey, at the club and be doing all of that all day. And no man can get her. None.
Honey, you may be having the time of your life right now, but you keep forgetting that there's a wall, and that wall is coming closer with every single trip you take to Miami in your fish stockings. Isn't she too old to act like this? In my humble opinion, no woman should wear fish stockings in public and twerk there just because she knows how to do so. And these are the exact same type of women who twerk all over the place now, but then also go to these single event parties and end up sitting there looking all bored with 50 to 60 other women all looking for men. But guess what? Those real men, they're not going to be checking for you. All of those simps you didn't give your attention to, they're not checking for you either. Because everybody is moving on. The only people that's going to be stuck is going to be women like that. And women who are too promiscuous with a high body count, they better not think about leaving the country, because there is a movement going around, from what I have seen, passport cis movement, where women actually leave America to go to another country to find a possible husband. They're not going to be checking for you. Because as Kevin Samuels said a lot of times, which may be kind of rude to some women, these women end up being leftover women. And why would he say that? Because no man who wants to start a family with a woman is going to look for a woman who's in her mid-30s, late 30s, or even in her early 40s. And a lot of women who are looking for a man right now, who are stuck and single, are within that age range, right? I am not saying a woman should not go out with her friends and have fun. But ladies, let's be honest, the way you dress out when you are going out with your friends, you don't look any different than prostitutes. And I'm sorry if I'm saying this, I know you want to show off, but there's absolutely no reason for a woman to walk down the street with fishnet stockings on. It's not a good look. I mean, why would you want to look at as a stripper from men? Why would you want them to think a certain way about you? What do you get out of it? And here's the thing about it. When women ask themselves only this question, why? Why am I wearing this outfit? The answer would be because I want attention. Why am I loud at the club? Why am I so loud screaming around? Hey, twerking around? Because I want attention. Why do I have to be the one with the most scandalous behavior, most scandalous outfit? Because they're craving attention. It always comes back to attention.
The person that cares about a body count is an insecure person that's interested in you, but not in the count. Let me explain. The only reason these people care is because they're comparing themselves to people in your past, whether they know them or not. It's just more people from your past that they have to compete with. So it's not really them that has a problem with it, it's their ego. The truth is, this number doesn't matter and won't matter to your right person. And just know 99.9% of the time, if you ask someone their body count, they're gonna lie. Why? Because it's none of your damn business.
Oh. What? So here we go. Like we were just saying, man. Oh, this is sick work. They keep saying the same thing. We ain't gonna tell you. We're gonna lie. Like,
I get it. You know what? And granted, I'm gonna keep saying it. A woman that got this kind of energy, it ain't none of your business. If it was, I don't even know no more because I'm not Eve. You understand? Shoot.
and I'll say
every
this, Mr. Walker. I was gonna say most men are not asking; they are telling these women. That's where they're getting this confused. Men are not asking you what your body count is; they are simply telling these women you belong to the streets. You know, all these type of things. They are telling you to read between the lines. Ain't no man coming up on women asking. They are telling y'all. We know already. We already know. We just letting you know that we know.
They still ain't gonna
how
tell you. It's still
how
your conjecture. They're
that's
not
true.
gonna tell you. Women are not
Hey,
gonna tell you. Period.
nope.
So you just got to deal with it or don't deal with it. She was correct in what she's saying. The person that's for you ain't gonna care whether you have body count this day or the other. He's not gonna care one way or the other. He may wonder, he may care, but he may not ask. But if he's the one for you, he's not gonna care what kind of body count you have.
I'll tell you this: if a man got to sit here and constantly wonder about where you've been in the past, and y'all get into some serious hunting relationship, eventually it's gonna fall apart. I assure you. If he got to sit there and wonder, she's like, it ain't your business. Yes, it is his business. Everything you got going on is his business. I don't understand unless y'all ain't into serious relationships. Don't you want everything about you? If you got this man that you chosen to be your champion, don't you want him to know everything about you? I'm so freaking lost.
At the very same time, if you a man and you head over heels and you're in love with this woman, you better off not asking at that point. If you ain't got your heart involved, you better ask before your heart get involved, because you really don't want to know what she. If you hook her up and she, give her something to make her tell the truth, you don't want to know.
I didn't tell y'all this
See what I'm
story.
saying?
I'm gonna tell you this quick story, right? Right after my husband died, it was like a year or two after he died, right? I dated somebody and I got ghosted. He ghosted me, right? He ghosted me after, we had gotten together and, we're dating a little bit, and he ghosted me, right? And then I ran into him. I don't know where I ran into, a store, I ran into a parking lot or something like that. And I was like, I'm going to ask, I thought we had a good thing. I thought we were, on our way to this, that, and the third. And this man told me that he would always have to fight men. He would always have to fight over me. And I said, fight over me? What do you mean fight over me? He was like, I could never be sure that I would be sure of you, but I would never be sure of men that would be coming for you all the time. I was like, what kind of shit is that? I don't understand the thought pattern. What do you mean? He was like, I could never be sure about you. That's what he said to me. I could never be sure about you.
Was this before or after intimacy?
This was after.
Okay.
It was cat. Yeah, he was just going.
Yeah.
Yeah, that don't make no sense. Like, say that. That sounds weird, and that's why that was cap. He wished you didn't come to him and ask him no questions. you made him come up with a louder spot.
I was like, what? Hey, I can be ghosted too. I'm first to admit that.
Listen, that's why Simps ain't good for the group, because look, that brother, he wasn't gonna stand on no square. He just gonna sit there and tell you, you too fine. I'm gonna have to fight dudes over you. I ain't worthy. Already didn't have. You see what I'm saying? Yeah.
I just got out of that parking lot and I was just laughing. I was like, too bad, it's on you.
That's all. That's called, in the chat, they call that pump and dump. Right?
Pump and dump, of course.
What you got, brother Fred?
Yeah, sorry, Miss HQ. He inadvertently curved you. And he didn't know how to. It could have been anything. Your breath stank.
I can live with that. I ain't perfect.
Nah. Women can't live with that. Either your breath stank, or you're too masculine, or you're too tall. It could have been anything, but the best way he could say it is give you a compliment. Oh, men are after you.
Right.
Oh, that's what men do. They don't tell the truth.
Right.
If you told the truth, guess what? You would call them gay.
And I live with it. I take it. I let it roll off my back. I keep rolling. I keep rolling.
So I'm gonna let this go one last time. Here we go.
So stop asking body counts. You look pathetic. The past is in the past. Level up.
She really had the audacity to say level up. Why would a man have to level up when all of you women are literally going down? Tell me that and I'll shut up. Besides, why is a man even interested in competing with somebody that's in the woman's past? Why would he want to do that? He doesn't even think of that person because men are not going to have to compete for women. If anything, women gonna have to compete for men because, honey, there are more women on the planet than men if you haven't done your research on Google yet. Ladies, also, please stop saying that the past is the past and it doesn't matter today. Yes, that may be true, but here's the thing about it. The past is in the past, but those kids that you had with those Pookies and Ray Ray and Chads, they live today. And a man who wants to be with you is going to have to split his time in half or even more because you're bringing kids into the relationship. Why do you say the past is the past and it doesn't matter today when your 3 or 4 ways from back in the day contribute to you just looking all wrinkled up, looking old, looking used up, and looking washed up? Your attitude just stinks. Yes, the past does matter. You know why? Because the past and the decisions that you have made in the past, the consequences that you are dealing with or not, they are going to define who you are today. That's why the past is very, very important, sweetheart. See, the problem why a lot of women don't like my content is because I don't feed into their delusion. I don't tell them any lies, and I damn sure will not tell them what they want to hear because I will sit in their face, and I do this with women, even in my environment, and I tell them things that they have to deal with if they really want to be hit with the truth. And most of the time, they're not going to like it, but then they will turn around and see that I was right all of the time because of the content that I watched, because of the advice that I got from Kevin Samuels, because of my upbringing, which was kind of traditional back in the day and still helps me today. So ladies, stop lying to each other. I know it feels good when you are telling each other that it doesn't matter to have a high body count, that you're still this boss babe that every man wants, because no, they don't. They may want you in your late 20s, but once you hit 32, 33, 34, 35, nobody's going to want you anymore, believe me. And if you didn't understand my message throughout the whole...
So there we go. Shout out to Sister Saraya. Like I said, we got to get her up here sometime. She was in the comments a couple weeks ago on the video we dropped. So we'll see if we can get her up here and she'll have HQ up here backpedaling. All right.
Oh, yeah. I stand on my square all day. Don't get that messed up. I stand on my square all day. And she's wrong. She's wrong. She's not wrong on everything. She's just wrong that body count matter. Body count don't matter. It just
can you at least admit that body count may matter to a select group of men? Can you at least acknowledge that?
A select group of men, but regular Pookies, Ray Rays, and average guys,
not regular. Matter. Some of the guys that matter to are regular.
It only matters to rich men. It only matters to rich men. Let's put it that way.
That's not true.
It only matters to men who can demand that kind of price.
And
regular average Joe Blow can't demand that.
You ain't got to be rich. I assure you that.
I'm telling you. Only ones that can demand that kind of thing is men who got money. Men who got money. Other than the regular Joe Blow man, you're not even gonna concern yourself about it.
Well, at the very same time, I'll get you here, brother Fred. The only women who can demand a brother making that kind of money are fit, beautiful, the top of the top women. So
of course
there is an equation to all of this. There ain't no guarantees for nobody.
And there's trashy women who don't have kids. I'm all
right, HQ. What you got, brother Fred? I don't know what you said.
HQ, real quick. Let's sum this up. It matters to you. You hear me? Does it matter to you?
Does it matter to me? What? I'm sorry. What?
Body count. That's what we're talking about.
No, it only matters if you have a disease. It don't matter.
Okay. What's the body count?
My body count. I don't know.
See, the fact that you're not answering means it does matter to you.
No, I'm saying I really don't know.
What's a roundabout? Give a guess.
Roundabout.
It's over 10.
Well, that's a small number. You can count that.
I got less.
I'm just saying, I don't know anything other than that. I don't know anything. I can't give you no definitive number. I'm 50 years old. How the hell am I supposed to know that?
What's the range? What's the range?
What she say?
I just said over 10. I just said over 10.
Over 10 could be 100.
I didn't say from 10 to 100 then. Whatever.
So the fact that you're not answering that, we can all count to 20.
I just said I don't know.
Time out.
Now you want me to come up with a number when I said I don't know?
Sweetie, you're a smart individual. We can all count to 20. We can all count to 20. So it matters to you. And secondly, you know who You know who it doesn't matter to?
Right.
The African man who don't put no lotion on his feet. It don't matter to him.
Here, look. This is what I want to know. Like, if you got less than, I don't. Like, I'm dumbfounded because 10 people.
I don't know. I don't know.
You got more bodies than me, HQ, and I play football.
I don't know. I couldn't even,
that's my question. So a guy that got a low body count, can he require a woman with a low body count?
A man with a low body count can require a woman with a low body count. He can require a woman with a big body. There's plenty of men that, wait a minute, according to you all, a lot of men don't have sex. So therefore, the woman is going to have had more sex than him anyway. By the law of averages, if what you say is true, a lot of men say they don't have sex. So if they ain't having that much sex, and the women are, that means the woman is going to have more sex than you, right? More body count than you, right?
That's crazy.
How's that crazy? And don't you all always say that men don't get that much sex? If men don't get that much sex, and women can get all the sex that they want.
Miss HQ.
Right? But just because they can get all the sex that they want, I'm not
saying that they do. I'm saying
we're not advocating for girls to just go out there and sleep.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, by all reason, a 25-year-old, a 30-year-old man who doesn't get as much sex as a woman who may have 3 body counts, 9 times out of 10, the woman who is 30 years old has more bodies than him. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Miss HQ, you do know you don't get awarded for something that you can easily get. Do you know that?
I didn't say you get cookies for having more body count. I'm just saying the chances of her having more of a body count than the same age man as her is higher.
That's sick.
But that's a sloppy But that's a sloppy, sick choice she made.
You men say it all the time. Wait a minute, men say it all the time.
That don't make it right. That don't make it
average men don't get sex. Average men don't get sex.
Miss HQ, you know what I have to do to achieve more bodies than you? I have to be somebody. I have to build myself up. You can go outside, pull your pants down.
You're making my point. That's what I'm saying.
No, I'm not. You're not getting awarded for something. You're not getting awarded.
I didn't say there was an award for it. I just said it's a fact. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying you could be 50, I'm 50. I mean, you could be 30 and I'm 30. The chances of me having more bodies than you and you only got 3 is high.
But that makes you sloppy and easy because
How does that make you sloppy and easy?
Because you can go outside, pull your pants down, and get bodies. You don't get that. I can't do that.
But see, I don't think of it just because she has 4 bodies makes her I don't think of her like
No, we're not talking about hoe. We're saying that's something sloppy and easy. You can go outside, pull your pants down, and get bodies.
Right.
I can't do that.
I can't help that. I can't help it. I can't help that. That's
you can't help it. Keep your pants up.
I can't. I'm saying I can't help that statistic. I'm saying I can't help that.
You can. You can say no. You can say no.
Of course they can say no.
So you can help it.
But how many of them are saying no? I'm dealing in fact and reality. I'm not thinking about what you want to happen. What has happened is she has more bodies than you.
They should say no and oh.
Make them say no. How you gonna make
No,
them?
but
How
here's
you
the
gonna
bigger
make a
question.
horny girl
If-
and a horny boy say no?
Here's the
How
bigger
you gonna make
question,
them say
HQ.
no?
HQ, do you think a woman with a high body count, do you think that affects her future chances of finding a good husband?
No, not unless she gets pregnant,
But
or not
Oh,
unless
God.
she has a disease.
So, can I just say, like, I've been on the panel for a few weeks and with different people, and I remember somebody saying that, you know, they don't put all of their eggs into one basket because they've been hurt before. So, like, would that person have been hurt so many times had they said no more often, right? So if you aren't saying no the way Freddie is saying say no, and
Right.
you're saying yes, and you're ending up with more bodies than the men, then that makes you less likely to want to put all your eggs in one basket, because you've been wanting to be claimed by some of these men that you're sleeping with, but none of them are claiming you, and here you are with all of your eggs in all of these baskets and none for yourself. You feel what I mean? Like, I can't remember who it was that said that, but they were like, well, I'm not telling young ladies to put all of their eggs in one basket because, you know, I've been hurt before. You know, I'm thinking that maybe if they would have said more a little bit more often, they'd be less likely to give the advice to not put their eggs, to scatter their eggs out there.
There you go. I like that.
Just because I'm expressing what they're doing doesn't mean I approve.
No, I understand that. You're just speaking
I'm
on
just
the
saying
other side.
what they're doing.
Right.
What they're doing is this. What you want them to do is keep their legs closed. What they're doing is keeping their legs open. So I'm not dealing in the I wish they would keep their legs closed. I'm not dealing in that. I'm dealing in the reality of it, and they're keeping their legs open. I'm dealing in that reality.
They can't be changed if their legs are open. So that's a constant. That can't be changed now at this point. Legs are open.
You like you told me. You can't make a man not have sex if a woman offer it. Same with a woman.
So the
Why
bigger
y'all make it
question
feel as
is,
though she's more noble than the man. The woman is no more noble than a man.
let me ask you this,
When it comes to
HQ.
sexual.
As you being HQ, being a responsible elder in the community, what will be your message to the young girls that can't close their legs?
Be responsible, use birth control, use condoms. That's all I can say. They're not going to stop having it. They're not going to stop having sex. We have been having this problem since the beginning of time. They're not going to stop having sex. Period. Stop telling women you need to keep your legs closed. You need to keep your legs closed. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. Just like men are not going to stop having sex. So the only thing you can do is don't get pregnant, don't catch a disease. That's it. People keep trying to shame these women into not having sex. That's not going to work. It's not going to work. Okay? It since the beginning of time, it hasn't worked. Men are not going to stop having sex. Women are not going to stop having sex. Period. So don't get pregnant and don't get a disease.
Miss
That's the only thing I can tell you.
Miss HQ, you know how easy it is for a woman to have sex?
She making her point.
Do you know that? Do you know how easy it is? You know how hard it is for a man to have sex with multiple women? Do you not see the difference? How that is crazy unbalanced?
Of course I see the difference.
So why not say no?
Just because I'm expressing it doesn't mean I don't see it.
So why is it so hard to say no to something that's easy as compared to saying no to something that I had to work for? You don't see the difference?
See, how would I stop the sun from rising in the sky? How would I be able to do that? I can't.
Well, that's a natural thing. We talking about that sun earning.
Okay. If that's a natural thing,
yes, to earn
so
it. No, it's not natural.
So is the herb, the biological herb.
I'll say this. I like reading between the lines when HQ talk. And the more and more you talk and the analogies you give, if I was a woman watching this, it's nothing but doom and gloom. Like they are absolutely doomed according to HQ's theories.
I'm not. There's not a doom and gloom. Just don't get pregnant. and just don't catch a disease.
Well, no, you say you compare this to you being able to control the rise of the sun. If it's that, if we talk about women closing their legs comparable to the rise and us controlling the rise of the sun, they are doomed.
You all say the same thing about men. You guys say the same thing about men. Oh, it's better to tell the women to close their legs because the men ain't gonna stop hunching. Just
Why
the
would
same
they?
way you,
And
just
we-
the
and
same
we-
way men
but-
are not gonna
but-
stop hunching.
But we
Women are not
described
gonna
no,
stop
it's not the same. It's not the same.
Yes,
It's
it is
nowhere
the
near
same. It's biologically the same.
It's not the
It's-
same because women have to incubate a child for 10 months, for 40 weeks.
That's
You
not
can
what we're
only be
talking about.
pregnant by a man for 9 months at a time. And usually when the young ladies end up in these situations with a child, they're alone because there was nobody that said, we're going to stick in it with you. They
Well,
were
why
just
would you say
punching
that
and
when I
having
already said
right.
that's the one thing you need to teach them not to do. You cannot tell them not to have sex.
Right.
Because they're
but-
going to have sex.
Yes, and if you have sex and it
Be
doesn't work out
responsible
with you,
and don't get pregnant and don't get a disease, which is what I said.
but I don't think that men and women have sex for the same reasons, right? Like usually if a young lady is having sex with a young man, then it's out of the fact that she has some kind of feelings involved.
Exactly.
She wants a relationship. That's why all these babies are being born out of wedlock because they're thinking that if the man is having sex with them, the man will be there for them to raise a whole child, you know? So I think that yes, two human beings are coming together to do intercourse, but for different reasons. Like I think men are more driven for sex. Like they have more of a drive for it. We have more of like a drive for love and companionship and long-term commitment. So when we're engaging in sex with young men before marriage, it's usually as a way to solidify a relationship. And then when I get on the
Women have
panel
a
and
biological
hear other
need to
women
have sex
say,
too.
don't put all your eggs in one basket because you get hurt that way, I'm thinking that the reason why that person said that was because they had been saying yes a few times and didn't get the outcome they thought they deserved.
That doesn't negate my point. My point is that biologically, women are put on this planet to have children.
Yes.
And they're going to breed. They're going to have children. Men are put on this planet to plant their seed. We both have a biological imperative.
She is loca.
Listen here, HQ ain't never gonna concede, never. And brother, you learning HQ. I learned not to ask her too many questions because she gonna gaslight you and beat around the bush something crazy. But the whole thing, the whole, and again, we do this till we blue in the face, man. Like, young ladies, you can't expect. Like, and HQ love talking about nug, so let's keep it at the bottom of the barrel where she like it. A woman cannot go to a nug, a guy that has nothing to lose, everything to gain, living in his mama basement, dusty, and say, hey, would you like what every man desires? Would you like physical intimacy with me? He like, I'm eating 2-day-old pizza. Yes, I would like that. I'm not gonna turn it down. I'm gonna tell everybody that I did it. Where I don't understand but if the woman just never presents this present, this gift, then it can't be received. It's just that simple. Just don't present it, because nug gonna take it 100% of the time. I don't know why they don't understand that. Don't present it to them. Save yourself. Women, young women that ain't been 3 or 4 out should take pride and pleasure in keeping themselves to themselves. That is the pleasure of a married man. I know myself. Oh, listen here. I get a shallow ego boost out of curbing women, man. It's when, like, seriously, it's a whole different energy. Keep yourself to yourself. But then again, like I said, I stumble over my words because I wasn't out here loose and wild. That wasn't my thing. So when I be hearing people talking about 20 bodies, 50 bodies, I'm like, shit. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. No, y'all nasty.
So what you got, Raquel?
I just, you know, I get it that we are all out here beings. We're human. There's sex. We want to have it, but young ladies, you do not have sex with every man that asks you for it. You do definitely get to choose who enters your body, and you got to vet those men. Like, you know, going out for dinner, or, you know, you don't have to say yes to everything. There are things you can say no to, and it will behoove you in life to take your time, get to know somebody. Don't rush, because the more bad experiences you have, the more it's going to jade you, the more it's going to pull you away from the alignment of finding that man to be your husband and start that family to live the rest of your life with. So the more people you take in and you sleep with and you have those one night stands with, it's dirtying you. You feel like you're taking a shower and that you're clean and you've got that man off of you from the night before, but he's in there, and guys can see him. Like, even though you've washed him off of you and you've put on new makeup and got your eyebrows all cute and you got on new lashes, he can see that man on you. There's clear signs that a man has ruined you for another man. I don't know how they can tell it, but they can tell it. They just pick up on it. And it's usually the clues that we're giving out, the signals that don't match. That German lady is spot on. You know, I also happen to be one of those kind of women that kind of keep it real. One of my girlfriends, she's been married twice. After she divorced her first husband, she had the audacity to talk to me and a whole list of other women who were in her first bridal party and say to us that we are going to be in her second wedding on a beach at a destination wedding. Ladies, what I said to her was absolutely not. You better get married at a courthouse, because we ain't doing this again. I'm not buying another $500 dress. I'm not scheduling another weekend for your bachelor party and your bridal shower. I'm not doing that for you a second time with a second man to stand up at an aisle, at an altar in front of God, to say again that I'm going to be the person that you come to and talk to about your marital problems, when you never do, because you can never be fulfilled, because you can never be happy, because it doesn't work like that. In life, you get what you put in. If you ain't putting nothing good in there, you ain't gonna get nothing good out of it. So all that sex you're having with all these Pookies, Ray Rays, Nug Nugs, and Chads, like the German lady said, it's ruining you. So don't do it. Just don't do it. You can say no. There are other things you can do. God gave you two hands. You can use them.
I'll say, as we say all the time, like you say, these women got these body counts, and you might not be able to see them on the surface, but inside the box, fellas, the bodies are left behind. It's a graveyard inside of there. So think about this when you stick your meat inside some of these women. This is the bodies they left behind. All right.
Oh, that's the spookiest. Something that just get turned on by that.
And listen, Raquel, that Raquel?
Yes.
Okay, you light skin to be a Raquel, but that's okay. But listen, you're absolutely right. I was cracking up at these men are leaving things in you. They're leaving DNA in you. Mm-hmm. The ankles are clapping on their neck. Like, they are injecting humans into you. Like, mm-hmm. It's a clear difference. We're not getting nothing back from that. We are literally sweat, humans, everything is being injected inside of you. So why do women think that's even? Like, why do they think, if I inject inside of a woman, now I'm part of her. Just imagine 20 men part of the DNA because they injected in you somehow.
I think that things like Sex in the City, and Harper's Bazaar and Vogue magazine. I don't know if you've ever like read an article out of a Cosmopolitan or a Harper's Bazaar, but as a little girl, you start out with Teen Vogue, and it keeps going. Like they start indoctrinating you that there are just certain things that you need to be. And I think that that's kind of where we picked up on it, is like through those magazines. And then it just like the TV shows started putting the magazines in like live shots in front of our faces. You know, we could see the bags, we could see the girls, we could see the career. We wanted to be that Sex in the City Carrie. You know, at least I do. I wanted a career.
Well,
I wanted to be Carrie. I thought it was, you know, a thing that, you know, you could be grown and sexy and men will want you and you'll be able to have your way. That's
Well-
what the magazines impress upon you, that you're in control. And I really think that if you don't have a dad, somebody to like reel
That's
you
a
back
fact.
and say, well, you know, a feminist, you know, what is a feminist? You know, and my dad would really drill me down on it. And then I would say, well, I guess I'm a womanist. And my dad would be like, but really? Like, what is a womanist? Like, what is it? What does a woman do that she doesn't need a man for? That is what my dad would always say. What can you do without a man in the world? And then I just would always acquiesce to that it's not about what Harper's Bazaar is telling me, although it would in a fantasy land, it would be great that I could have all these things. But yeah, if I want a husband, I have to acquiesce because it's the man's world. And unfortunately, men aren't going to operate in that magazine that you're reading. And it didn't even work out for the ladies in New York in Sex in the City. It didn't even work out for them in the end. So
Appreciate you, Jay Gray. Says high body count equals monkey management.